Senator Rennick.
Well, the fix is in, isn't it? We've got the two major parties in the dead of night trying to move a bill that is going to entrench their stale, putrid monopoly. And that's what you expect from a stale, putrid major parties who have no policy ideas of their own, and all they can do is manipulate the law, manipulate the rules to constantly protect themselves. And the public are awake to this, because if you looked at the combined primary vote of the two major parties, it is going one way, and that is down, because this chamber is nothing but a Punch and Judy show from members of parties who are party-bred and party-fed. You know, it's one of my former staffers used to call it union-bred, union-fed, but what we really have here is major party-bred, major party-fed. They're the same careerists who started off in the Young LNP and Young Labor. They've never had any real-life experience, and they don't know how to relate to the common man on the street. So the only way that they can continue to protect their little racket is to manipulate the rules of the game. And I mean, I'm a victim of that, because my own party manipulated the rules of the game. I took them to court, and you know what the judge said? We're not going to rule. Political parties aren't justiciable. So there you have it, people. The Supreme Court of Queensland ruled that the very political parties who make the law are above the law. What sort of a system, democratic system, is that? And yet we've had 3 years to debate this bill, but no. These guys, they cannot face scrutiny. Put any sunlight on these guys, it's like throwing water on a witch. They'll just fade away like the Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. Because not only do they have any policy solutions to deal with the cost of living or anything like that, they just want to keep their protection racket going. And I am calling you guys out. I think it's a very low act to be guillotining this bill, and it's a very low act to be pushing it through on what looks to be the last sitting week of this term. And, you know, we've had this term dictated by nothing but there's been no solutions in this term. The first half of the term is dominated by Labor and The Voice, who wanted to split the country on race. The second half has been all about Israel and Palestine, because that's a nice deflection from the fact that none of you guys have any solutions to deal with cost of living, to deal with an immigration problem, to deal with a cost of a housing problem, to deal with an energy crisis, to deal with people who are struggling from government neglect, whether it's vaccine injuries, robo-debt, you name it. This place is stench. It is a dead, putrid carcass flapping in the breeze, and the people of Australia are awake to it. The people of Australia are awake to it. And we'll see again more and more people turn away from the major parties. So the only way they can protect themselves is by having dodgy rules, do anything, and the one that really grinds my gears is that parties that get less than 4%, and I'm moving an amendment on this in a minute, don't get any electoral funding whatsoever. So if you vote for a minor party, in the eyes of the major party, you're not as worth as much. Okay, you're not as worth as much. We're only going to actually reward you if you vote for one of us. I mean, that's straight-out bribery. There ought to be laws against that. Everyone who votes should be worth $3.50 a vote, but of course no, because we don't want the minor parties. We wouldn't like the minor parties getting some money, because God forbid the minor parties actually have some solutions and aren't actually beholden to the big end of town. They're not beholden to the big end of town. And we've seen it, just sitting here paying attention to all these amendments. What are we always asking for at this end of the chamber? Greater accountability, greater scrutiny, greater protection of the people. But do we get that? No. What we have is these two major parties protecting the big end of town, big government, the big bureaucracies, the big media, the big corporations and their mates in the big super funds. It's all about the establishment. On this side you've got the command and control communists, and on this side you've got the born-to-rule fascists. Doesn't matter what you do, the two major parties are only interested in controlling you, not serving you.
Authorised G. Rennick People First Chermside.